Hello, welcome to next session. In this session, we'll solve GATE 2020 active thermodynamics paper. First of all, one mass question. Question number one: if X and Y are two independent intensive properties of thermodynamic system, then which relation among the following fails to identify Z as another thermodynamic property? A. dz is equal to x dy plus y dx. B. dz is equal to x dy minus y dx. C. dz is equal to zy plus dx. D. dz is equal to dy by x minus yx square dx. Okay. So these are the option given, and we know that for z to be thermodynamic property, dz is equal to m dy and dx. And if z is thermodynamic property, then curly m by curly x, y constant should be equal to curly n by curly y x. Okay. So in first case, m is your x, so curly x by curly x is 1, okay, and uh, n is your y, so curly by curly y is also 1, so 1 is equal to 1, okay. So that is the thermodynamic property, okay, in the first case, okay. In second case, m is x and n is minus y, so it is not a thermodynamic property, okay, because x curly x by curly x is 1 and minus curly by curly y is your minus 1, okay. So it is not a thermodynamic property, so answer is option B, which is the correct option, okay. Question number 2: internal energy of a thermodynamic system is defined by the option A, zeroth law of thermodynamics, B, first law of thermodynamics, C, second law of thermodynamics, D, third law of thermodynamics. Internal energy, now according to first law, dq is equal to dw is dq is equal to dw plus du, and du is change in internal energy. Uh, so that is value for a process. So internal energy is defined by first law of thermodynamics. Okay, so answer will be question number 3. In a polytropic process described by PV constant, if n is 0, the process is called as A, isobaric, B, isochoric, C, isothermal, D, isentropic. Okay. For a polytropic process, PV therefore n is constant. Okay. Now n is 0. If n is 0, then we have P as P is equal to constant. So it is a isobaric process. Okay. So option A is the sorry. Option A is the right answer. Okay. Next, the relation between coefficient of performance of a refrigerator COPR and the coefficient of performance of heat pump is option A COP heat pump plus COP refrigerator plus 1. So this is the right answer. We have to remember this formula, uh, or you can try this also, but it is a one mark question, so we have to remember this formula. COP of heat pump is equal to COP of refrigerator plus 1. Okay. Next, if L1, L2 and L3 are the latent heats of evaporation at critical temperature of nitrogen, water and ammonia respectively, then which one of the following is true? Option A, L1 is greater than L2 is greater than L3. Option B, L1 is greater than L2 and L2 is equal to L3. Option C, L1 is less than L2 is less than L3, and D, L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L3. Okay. At critical point, the latent rate of evaporation for any gas is 0. Okay, so L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L2. Option B is the right. A new temperature scale in degree N has been proposed where normal freezing and normal boiling point of water are marked as 500 degree N at 100 degree N respectively. If the temperature of the system is measured to be 0 degree N. The temperature according to the Celsius scale in degree Celsius. Okay. At uh, in N scale, okay, the freezing point is 500 degree N and boiling point is 100 degree N. Okay. So difference in boiling and freezing point is 100 minus 500, that is minus 400. Okay. And the difference in boiling point and freezing point in Celsius scale is 100 degree Celsius minus 0 degree Celsius, that is 100 degree Celsius. Okay. So per unit C, per unit degree Celsius. Okay. So 1 degree Celsius represent minus 4 degree N. Okay. Or minus 1 degree N represent 1 by 4 degree Celsius. Okay. 1 by 4 degree Celsius. Or 1 degree Celsius represent minus 1 degree N represent minus 1 by 4 degree Celsius. Okay. Now freezing point on the Celsius scale is 0 degree. Okay. And now we have to find out what and a freezing point uh, on the N scale is 100 degree N. Okay. So 100 degree N represent 0 degree Celsius. Okay. And now the sorry, now 0 degree N will represent, now 100 degree N represent 100 degree N represent 100 degree Celsius. Okay, this is 100 degree Celsius. Okay, okay, 100 degree N. Now if we subtract 100 N, we have to reach to 0 N. Okay, then we in degree Celsius we will subtract minus 100. Okay, 100 divided by per uh, per by 4. Okay, because per degree Celsius is there 4 degree. Okay, so here will be 100 degree Celsius plus minus 100 divided by minus 4, so it will be equal to 125 degree Celsius. Okay, so answer is your 125 degree Celsius. Next, if Z1 represents the compressibility factor of air at 2 bar and 600 Kelvin, and Z2 represents the compressibility factor of air at 1 bar and 300 Kelvin, if air is to be assumed to be an ideal gas having constant of 0.287 kilojoule per kilogram per degree Kelvin, then Z1 by Z2 is, now the compressibility factor is Z is equal to PV by RT. Okay, at initial pressure, temperature, okay, and R, now pressure, temperature, and volume is the wait, wait, and volume is not given. Okay, that one is the okay, and B is specific volume. Okay, now PV is equal to, if air is assumed to be, okay. So for ideal gas, for same kind of gas, B is assumed to be constant. Okay. Mm, specific volume is constant. So Z is your PV by RT here, and Z2 is PV by RT here. Okay. So the ratio of compressibility factor will be Z1 by Z2, that is 100 by 3. Okay. Or 100 by 3 is equal to 1. And because uh, both gases are air, so specific volume of air is assumed to be constant. Okay. So because okay. by RC. Specific volume is constant for an ideal gas. That is definition of ideal gas. The specific volume is constant. Okay. Next, the rate of heat received by a heat engine from a source at 900 Kelvin is 900 Kelvin is sorry, it is 2 times, okay. The rate of heat received by a heat engine from a source at 900 Kelvin is 600 kilojoule per second. The engine rejects heat to the sink of 300 Kelvin. The heat engine produces a power of 2 kilowatt. The irreversibility rate of the process is. Now we know that in ideal Carnot cycle T1 by T2 is equal to Q1 by Q2. T1 is your nothing but 900 Kelvin and T2 is your 300 Kelvin. Okay, so T1 by T2 is 300 by 900 by 300 and Q1 is your 600. Okay, and we can find out Q2. Once the Q2 is found out, we can find out the reversible work done. So reversible work done is your 600 Q1 minus Q2 minus 200. Okay, that is 400. So but the work done actually is 200. Okay, so ideally it should be 400. Okay, so 400 minus 200 is your irreversibility. Okay, so this is 200 kilowatt. Okay, so answer is 200 kilowatt. Okay. Now question number 9. An engine working on on the air standard diesel cycle has a compression ratio of 18. The cycle has a cutoff ratio of 1.7. If the ratio of specific heat of air is 1.4, then the thermal efficiency of the cycle rounded off to 1 decimal place. Here the compression ratio given is 18 and cutoff ratio is your 1.7. Okay, so using the state formula that is for diesel cycle. Okay, R is your 18 and gamma is your 1.4. Okay, and rho is 1.7. Okay, so you have to the 2 marks is for remembering this formula. Okay, so answer is your 54. 1 mark is for this formula. Okay, so you have to put the values. Okay, then the answer is 64.6%. Okay, next 2 marks question. Question number 10. A system with rigid walls is initially at a temperature of T1. It is used as a heat source for a heat engine, which rejects heat to the reservoir maintained at P0. P0 is less than T1. The specific heats of the system are constant. If the temperature of the system finally reduced to T0, the maximum amount of work recoverable from the heat engine per unit mass of the system is. So here, a rigid system with rigid walls is initially at T1. It is used to use it. Now as the heat is supplied at constant volume. Okay, which is reacted to here. So heat supplied is as it is rigid. The system is with rigid walls. Okay, so heat is supplied at it is used as an heat source. Okay, so heat is supplied at constant volume. Okay, the system. So heat supplied is Cv T1 minus T naught. It is supplied. So the final temperature is T naught and initial temperature is T1. Okay, and volume of the system remains constant. Okay, so heat is supplied at constant volume Tv T1 minus T naught. Okay, now from this heat supplied, the heat entropy generated is Cv dt divided T T1 T naught. So CV ln P1 T naught. Okay. So this is the entropy generated. Okay. Now the irreversibility is nothing but entropy generated into atmospheric temperature. Okay. So this is your irreversibility. Okay. Now the maximum work which can be obtained is heat supplied minus irreversibility. Okay. So this is the heat supplied CV T1 minus T naught and irreversibility T naught CV ln T1 by T naught. Okay. So answer is A. Option A is the right answer. Next, question 11. A reversible heat engine is operating between two reservoirs maintained at T1 and T2, where T1 is greater than T2. Which one of the following is the most effective option for increasing its thermal efficiency? Option A, increasing T1 while keeping T2 constant. B, decreasing T1 while keeping T2 constant. C, increasing T2 while keeping T1 constant. D, decreasing T2 while keeping T1 constant. The efficiency of the Carnot cycle is 1 minus T2 by T1. Okay. So sink temperature is T2 and source temperature is T1. Okay. Now the efficiency can be increased by decreasing T2 or increasing T1. Okay. If we increase T2, oh, sorry, if we decrease T2, then this factor will be more, and if we decrease T2, then this factor will be more, and if we decrease T1, then this factor will be more. Okay, so what is the most effective? Either decreasing T2 or increasing T1. Okay, we have to determine. Let us take some data. Let T2 is your 300 and T1 is your 1000. Okay, then the efficiency is this. Okay, now if the T2 is decreased by 100, okay, efficiency can be increased by decreasing T2. Okay, so then it will be 200. Okay, then the efficiency will be 0.8. So increase in efficiency will be 0.8 minus this. Okay, so now if the T2 is kept constant and T1 is increased by this, okay, to increase by 100, so then the efficiency will be 0.726, which is less than which is less than zero point 0.8. Okay, so decreasing T2 give more, decreasing T2 will give more efficiency. Okay, so option B is correct. What is option D? Decreasing T2 while keeping the T1 constant. So upper temperature is kept constant, and if we decrease the lower temperature by same amount, okay, then we can more effect, more in increasing the efficiency. Answer is your B. Next, a 4-meter cube reservoir contains 10 kg of real gas at 200 Kelvin. If this gas follows a van der Waals equation of state with A is equal to 0.0687 meter kPa per kilogram here, B is equal to 0.00657 meter cube per kilogram, R is equal to 0.187 kilojoule per kilogram per Kelvin, then the reservoir pressure in kPa is, according to van der Waals equation, this is the equation P plus A by V square V minus V is equal to RT. Okay. So P is in kPa. P is given as it is V have implemented. Okay. And V is specific volume. Here volume of the volume is 4 meter cube and mass is 10. So specific volume is 4 by 10. Okay. A is given as this value and B is given this value. R is 0.187. P is this. Okay, putting this value we can find out P. This is also straightforward question. Okay, so answer is B. Next, but only you have to remember this van der Waals equation. Okay, you have to remember formulas. Okay, so solve the questions. Okay. So there are two questions which are only based on formulas so far. Okay. Next, air at a pressure of 86 kPa and specific volume 1 meter cube per kilogram is heated at constant pressure till it reaches 627 degrees Celsius. Air is assumed to be an ideal gas with constant specific heat. It has the gas constant of 0.287 kilojoule per kilogram per degree Kelvin and the ratio of specific heat is of 1.4. The change in specific entropy of air in kilojoule per kilogram per degree Kelvin during the process is the pressure of air is 86 kPa and specific volume is this. Okay, is equal at constant. So it is the entire constant pressure till it reaches 627 degrees. Air is assumed to be okay. Uh, Initial pressure is this, final temperature is this. Okay, specific volume is this. Okay, and gas constant R is this. Was now you have to calculate the change in specific entropy of the air. Okay, so 86 initial condition 86. Now from the pressure and volume you can calculate temperature also. Okay, now we have PAB and we can calculate temperature. Okay, and the final temperature is also given, that is 900, and the process free means constant pressure process. Okay, and for this constant pressure processes the entropy change is Cp L to T2 by T1. Okay, so now we have T2, we have T1, we have Cp, and taking mass and we have Cp is nothing but R plus Cv, and Cp by Cv ratio is given. So we can calculate Cp also. Okay. So the from these two relationships, so, Cp comes out as 1.0045. Okay. So putting the value of Cp, ln T2 by T1. T2 we know, T1 we know, Cp we have calculated by using Cp by Cv is equal to R. R is given, Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. Gamma is given. So from this we can have the best specific entropy value is this 1.104 kilojoule per kilogram per meter. Okay, so this is the 1.104 answer is next. An air standard Otto cycle has a compression ratio of 4. The compression ratio of cycle is changed to 6. If the ratio of specific heat is 1.4, the percentage increase in its thermal efficiency will be the compression ratio is 4. Okay, now you have to plug another formula that is for Otto cycle. Okay, that is efficiency of Otto cycle is 1 minus R, 1 minus 1 by R, gamma means 1. So R is just initially 4, and according to this, it is 42.56%. Okay, in second case, R is just 6, so it is 51.56%. The percentage increases your final minus initial divided initial. Okay, that is 20.2%. Option A is the correct. Next, question number 50. In a mixture of gas, there are zero point 0.1 kilomole of oxygen O2, zero point 0.1 kilomole of nitrogen N2, zero point 0.8 kilomole of methane CH4. If the molar mass of O2, N2, and CH4 are 32 kilogram per kilomole, 28 kilogram per kilomole, per, per kilomole, okay, and 16 kilogram per kilomole respectively. Then the mass fraction of N2 in the gas mixture. Here the oxygen moles are 0.1, okay, and nitrogen moles are 0.1, okay, and methane moles are 0.8, okay. So this will be total number of moles is 0.1 into 32, okay, and this is 0.1 into 28, and this is 0.8 into 16. Okay, so total mass is your 18.8 kg. Okay, and we have to calculate the mass fraction of N2. Mass of N2 is your zero point 0.1 into 28. Okay, so number of moles of N2 and molecular weight. This is the mass of N2 and this is the total mass. So small mole fraction 2.8 divided by 18.8 is equal to 0.1 into 148. So option C is the 0.148 is option C the right answer. Okay. Next, a particular gas sample is initially maintained at 6,000 centimeter cube and 100 kPa. It is compressed during a quasi-static process following the relation PV scale is equal to constant. The compression continues till the volume becomes 2000 centimeter cube. The magnitude of corresponding work transfer in kilojoule round up to two decimal places. Uh, Now the gas is initially maintained at 600,000 centimeter cube and 100 kPa. Okay. Now we can, as the relationship PV scale has been used. Okay. So work done is in general is given a PV. Okay. Now we can take this quantity. So C will be equal to sorry. So P will be equal to C by V square. Okay. C by V square putting then integrating and then we just then we will have this one by V2 minus one by V1. Okay. Now V2 is your sorry. Okay, V1 is your 6,000. Okay. And V1 is 6,000. Okay. And V2 V2 sorry V2 is 2000 given. Okay, putting these values and putting these values and see initial pressure and initial volume is given, so we can C also by using PV scale. Okay, so this is your C, this is your V1, this is your V2. You need nothing. Okay, so that is a work done. Now you have to calculate the work done. Okay, so this is putting this value, we can get work done, that is 1200 kilojoule, 1.1 joule or 1.2. Okay, next. Carbon dioxide (CO2) enters an adiabatic rigid nozzle steadily at 1 MPa and 500 degrees Celsius with a mass flow rate of 1.5 kilogram per second. The inlet area of nozzle is 40 centimeters square and exit velocity is 10 times of that at the inlet. If CO2 can be considered as an ideal gas with gas constant of 0.19 kilojoule per kilogram per degree Kelvin. The ratio of specific heats of the ratio of specific heats is 1.29. The exit temperature in Kelvin rounded up to one decimal place. Okay. Now at the inlet of the nozzle, applying the ideal gas solution, pressure is 1 MPa, temperature is 1000 degrees Celsius. Okay, and mass flow rate 1.5. Okay, so PV MRT. So M is your 1.5, R is your mm, R is your 0.19. Okay, and V is not given, and T is given that is 1,500. So V is your 220 into 10 power minus 3 meter per second. Okay, so now we have the volume flow rate. Okay, now the inlet area is given that is 40. Okay, and exit velocity is 10 times of that of inlet. Okay, so area is your 40 meter, 40 centimeter square. Okay, so area 40 and mass flow rate is this. Okay, so we can find out that is inlet area, that is mass, so that is only volume flow rate. So we can find out inlet velocity. So how? That is volume flow rate divided by area will be your velocity. A into V is your volume flow rate. Okay, so V by A is your velocity. So it is let it be V1. So this is 220 divided by 40 into 100 square. So V1 is your inlet velocity. That is 55.7625. Okay. Now the exit velocity is 10 times of the inlet velocity. So this when it is multiplied by 10, so it will be 550.7 meter per second. Okay. So we have to calculate exit temperature. Now we have inlet velocity, we have exit velocity, we have inlet temperature, we have inlet temperature. Okay, and now we can calculate the exit temperature uh, by using energy equation. The increase in kinetic energy, that is increase in kinetic energy, the velocity has been increased from V1 to V exit. Okay, and heat is lost. Okay, from T into T as temperature is decreased from T into T exit. Okay, so Cp is also given. Cp is nothing but R, that is specific heat ratio is your 1.29. Okay, and this is your R. Okay, and we have derived the Cp and R relationship in previous question. Okay, so we are directly using that. So this is R uh, gamma plus 1. Okay, sorry, gamma divided by gamma minus 1. Okay, so gamma is your 1.29. Okay, so this answer is your 0.84517. Okay, sorry, CP here is 0.84517. Okay, so putting this value, we can calculate the exit temperature, that is 322.33 degrees Celsius or 595.34 Kelvin. Okay, next, a closed system containing 8 kilogram of gas undergoes an expansion process following the relationship PV equal to PV ratio of 1.2 constant. The initial and final pressure are 1 MPa and 5 MPa, 5 kPa respectively. While the initial volume is 1 meter cube, if the specific internal energy of the gas decreases by 40 kilojoule per kilogram during the process, the heat transfer associated with the process round up to 1 decimal place. So PV ratio of 1.2 is constant. Okay, that is given. Okay, and P is your P1 is your 1 MPa and P2 is your 5 MPa. Okay, and initial volume is 1 meter cube. Okay, so we can find out C. Okay, we have to calculate heat transfer. Okay, so we can find out C. Final pressure is given, so we can find out by using this relationship. Final volume also. So this is final volume. Okay, now the heat transfer can be found by using first law, that is dq is equal to dw plus du. So now finally our dw. So dw is your pdv or c d 1.2. Okay. Now we have the limits of v1 and v1. Sorry, we know the v1 and v2. Okay, and c we also have calculated. Okay, so we can put this value and find out work done. This is the work done. Okay, and the internal energy. Internal energy of gas is decreased by 40 kilojoules per kilogram and total mass is 8 kg. The total decrease in internal energy is 40 into 8 minus 220. Okay. So the heat transfer is your W minus uh, then U. Okay. So this is your 2612.38 kilojoules. So option is so answer is your 2612.38 kilojoules. Okay. Next, the saturation pressure of the water at 5 degrees Celsius is 0.8725 kPa. If the latent rate of evaporation is 2489.1 kilojoules per kilogram and gas constant is 0.4615 kilojoules per kilogram per Kelvin, then the saturation pressure at 100 degrees Celsius rounded up to 2 decibels. So again, this is the same question that has been asked in the previous paper also. Okay, so using the again classic capital equation and neglecting v double dash. Okay, and putting V double V triple dash L equal to RT by P. Okay, L is latent evaporation. Okay, again reaching again this is your dT by dt is your L P L evaporation by RT square dT by dt. Okay, again like this similar way dT by dt. We can derive the formula between uh, so we can derive formula LNP and LNP by P1 by P2 minus L by expression by R 1 by T2 1 minus 1 by T2 1 by T1. Okay, so from this we can find out P. Okay, just putting the values here. 5 degrees Celsius saturation temperature, pressure is 0.87. Okay, and lateral evaporation is given. We have to calculate the saturation pressure 10 degrees Celsius. So taking T1 as 288. Okay, sorry, 28 T2 as 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, and just by putting the values we can get this P. Okay, so answer is here 1.2291. One value is here according to 5 degrees Celsius it is 0.8725. Okay, so this is 278 as P1 is your, okay, this is P2 by P1. Okay, so putting the value we can get. Next, this is also asked in newspaper. Turbine inlet condition of Rankine cycle are 10 MP and 500 is while the condenser pressure is 10 kPa enthalpy control and enthalpy entropy of saturation liquid at 10 kPa are 191.8 kilojoule per kilogram and 0.6492 kilojoule per kilogram per degree respectively. While the enthalpy entropy of evaporation at 10 kPa are 2392.1 kilojoule per kilogram and 7.4996 kilojoule per kilogram per degree respectively. The enthalpy and entropy at the inlet to the turbine are 3375.1 kilojoule per kilogram and 6.5995 kilojoule per kilogram per Kelvin respectively. The condenser outlet has saturated liquid neglecting pump work. Thermal efficiency of the cycle is so. This is your turbine work. 4 5. 5 1 is your condenser. 1 2 pump. 2 4 is your uh, boiler heat input. So H4 is given as uh, highest pressure is 10 MP and enthalpy at 10 MP is 10 MP and 500 degrees Celsius is your 3375 and entropy is this. Okay. Now again equating the entropy at 4 and 5 you can find out dryness fraction. Okay. So SF is given. SF is your SF is SF is SF. SF at 10 kPa is 0.6492 and Hg is 7.996. Okay. So putting this value we can get x5 and then we can find out enthalpy. Okay. So enthalpy. So taking neglecting the pump work H1 is equal to H2. Okay. So H1 is nothing but this 191.8. Okay. And turbine work is now H4 minus H5. 4 minus H5 and heat input is H4 minus H2. So efficiency will be turbine work by which supply. So it will be 40 per kilogram. Okay. Next, the maximum and minimum, sorry, the minimum and maximum temperature of an air standard Brayton cycle are 300 Kelvin and 111 1100 Kelvin respectively. The pressure ratio of this cycle is 6. The ratio of specific heat is 1.4 and the specific heat are constant. For this cycle, the ratio of net work output to the turbine work rounded up to the is so maximum temperature is T3. This is Brayton cycle. To constant pressure process to isotopic processes. So T3 is the maximum temperature. That is T3 is maximum temperature that is 1100 and T1 is your medium temperature that is 300. Okay. So and pressure ratio is your ratio is 6. Okay, so P1 by P2, oh, sorry, P2 by P1 or P3 by P3 is 6. So we can have Q and now we can have Q. Similarly, we can have P2 also. P3 by P4. Okay. Similarly, we can have P4 also. Okay. So P2 and P4 are found. Now we can calculate efficiency. That work is your one work, the CPT3 minus T4 and minus compressor work, CPT2 minus T and heat supply is your CPT3 minus T2. Okay, so this is your work done. This is your heat supply. So putting the values, we have all the values. We have get KCS 0.4549 So answer is 54. For 54.99 or 55%. Okay. What is the ratio of the for this cycle ratio of net work output to the turbine work? Sorry, we don't have to calculate the efficiency. So this is the network and CPT3 by minus T4 is the uh, turbine work. Okay. So next question, the specific humidity ratio, specific humidity of the air is at 100 kPa is 0.015 kg of vapor per kilogram of dry air. Partial pressure of the vapor in the existing state is so specific humidity is given as 0.015. So the formula for specific humidity is this. Okay, and vapor pressure, total pressure is 100 kPa, and so putting the P is equal to 100, we can find out PV. So partial pressure to bottom vapor. So this is the answer. That is 2 point. We will not know any other data. Okay, so only without this we get 2.354. Okay. Thank you very much.